Hello, my computer duders. Just one moment. Gotta set things up. Okay, that was unexpected. What I'll have to do though. Um, hmm. Do I have any horror games downloaded? This one still doesn't work. I think I have to reboot my computer for it to work. It sucks. What do I have? Oh, there's a bug in my ear. That's the downside of having a cat flap in your bedroom that opens directly to the outdoor environment, not sealing it very well. Bugs get in. So you have to have bug traps and zappers and whatnot all the time. Hang on. I sure wish I could live like a dignified human. Hope that'll copyright strike me. Might do it anyway, because I'm about to play some games that will probably have copyrighted music in them. Battle Block Theater, Lost in Random. I feel like Forever Skies. Wait a minute, no. I don't. I feel like continuing my playthrough of Fear. I remember now. But it's not guaranteed that it won't crash, as ever. Fucking Lithtech. It gives and it takes. No man can know its whims. I bought these adhesive magnets and I'm using them for everything. They're amazing. Since I have so much metal shit in my room. My PC case, my shelving tower, my other shelving tower. So if I put adhesive magnets on the back of all my remote controls and PC controllers and whatnot, I can just stick them up out of the way on the shelving towers or my PC case without having to put up more shelves to store things. I know this is probably very elementary organization for everyone else, but for me it's magic. That works. Hot damn. It's up out of the way now. Doesn't look pretty, but it works. Don't tell me it's on BRB. I know it's on BRB. What are you doing? I didn't say to do any of that. What just happened? My hand slipped a bunch. What did I just do? I might have fucked something up. Well, it's now in 640 by 480, so I'm guessing I did. Yep. Hang on, I gotta go into the fucking... God damn it! Because I set that in the game, I have to go into the can't make my words. Why can't I make my words? Brain, start braining. Okay, I need to go into the game settings and like in the files and open the settings.txt and manually respecify the resolution. It's not this one. Hang on, I gotta Google how to do this. Fuck! My hand slipped like 3 times in the span of a second and it completely fucked up the game setting files. Settings.cfg. Okay, here we go. I don't see it anywhere. It doesn't accept any higher resolution. There's got to be a... It's not there. There is no settings.txt. What I fuck it? You know what? Fuck it. God damn it. I guess I just fucked it up permanently and that's that and I have to live with it. Crank your mic. I'll try. I can't see anything right now. It's just a gray screen. There we go. I can't click anything right now. Hang on. My microphone is cranked way the fuck up. Is this better? It's at 100%. And the hardware dial is at 100% also. Hang on, let me try this. Is this better? Can you hear me now? It's a little far away. I tried to stash it away somewhere. I guess I can't get away with that. Oh my! Every part of my body pops now when I move it. Nothing works. I'm grumpy. I need to be burped. You know what I hate? I'm going to tell you what I hate because I got a captive audience here. I hate pop-ups that can't be dismissed. They think it's so important that you see this that you can't dismiss it. And then it's in front of some other button you have to push, and you have to sit there like a fucking dink with your thumb up your ass, patiently waiting for the pop-up to dismiss itself so you can get at the button that's under it. Fuck you, stupid fucking dev who programmed that shit. Did nobody tell you how annoying that is? Hang on, I'm setting something up. God damn, I hate that. It's in my car, too. It's not just on computers or phones. There are very often pop-ups on my fucking car HUD. And before you ask, it's heads-up display. Everyone who's ever gotten into my car, when I say, oh, it's on the HUD. Like, what's a HUD? You dumb fucking retard. It's the year 2024. I often also have to explain what lag means. I've had people think that I was calling them a slur when I said lag. And I say delayed, and they say, oh, like you, her, I wasn't insulting you. You fucking retaliated for nothing. Now we're enemies for life. Good going, numbnuts. I woke up and chose anger today. I can't run this in a window. I can't do pop-out chat either. Alright, hang on. I gotta hit up Google for a solution. What did you say? Hang on. Violence confirmed. I call that GUI jump, and nobody fucking knows what GUI means either. Neanderthals. I have to say, they make a fucking semen joke. It's graphical user interface. Making cum jokes isn't going to cover for not knowing basic computing terminology. And when I say that, they're like, they repeat it back to me in like a nasally, like, basic computer technology. I hate people. I just want to live on an island somewhere. I want to be like John of Patmos. But in an era with, I guess, better healthcare and an understanding of mental illness. User documents monolith. See documents and settings. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. No, there's no folder like that. This is for an outdated version of Windows. Here we go. That worked. Even though the folder was hidden from me, it worked. Is that gonna stick? Or is that not gonna... Hang on. Let me copy this. Yeah, that ought to work. If that doesn't work, I don't know what to do. I hate having to talk to people. Talking is where all the fucking problems come from. I wish I could just stand right in front of somebody and text them. T-E-X-T. I really, really wish I could just text people. Face to face. I know how absurd that sounds and how it would look. But frankly, there are fewer opportunities for misunderstanding. No, it doesn't work. I guess we just can't have it working. I tried everything and it just doesn't want to work.
There are replicas everywhere. They've taken the city.
No. Yes. I don't have ultra wide anymore. Howdy from Orwellian Nightmare Land. It's gotta be, that sounds like Britain. Oh, no, it crashed. It's hard to like a game if you can't play it. Why does my computer run so slow? I've got, you know how much RAM I have? 32 gigabytes. You would think 32 gigabytes would insulate me against this kind of thing. Nope. Alright, fear does not work. I guess we have to reboot the computer before that'll work. I just wasted your time and mine. I don't want to play something difficult right now. I just want to relax. And gaming isn't relaxing, I realized. Or for the most part it isn't. There are genres you can play to relax. This is not it. It really didn't used to exist. The cozy genre. Every game used to just piss you the fuck off back in my day. Because they had to pad out the gameplay length so your parents didn't beat you for asking for a new game. Because cartridges could fit like 30 minutes of gameplay of unique assets if you played all the way through in one sitting. Like, that's why speedruns are so insane for older games. Like, cartridges didn't even hold as much as a floppy disk for like the first quarter of the NES lifespan. That's why the NES or Famicom Disk System was a thing. You know what else I'm cranky about? I'm cranky. Someone needs to change my fucking diaper. And if you burp me, I'm just gonna vomit all over you. I ordered a Splatterhouse Hue card. And it arrived and it was yellow, like someone had been smoking. And the guy who sold it to me was like, that's just how they all are, bro. It's 30 years old game cartridge. And I'm like, well, how come when I order from Japanese sellers, they're bright and fresh and springtime Snow White? And what I'm learning, I think, is that Japanese sellers have a different definition of acceptable condition. Or they're like the whole eBay quality. Good, acceptable, great, like new. I think I'm only ordering from Japan now, even though it takes longer to get here. I also think they use Retro Bright, which is a finicky process on a cartridge because of the label. Because you don't want to fuck up the label, and it's really easy to do that with bleach. Let me check something. Is it still BRB? It's still BRB. So what's going on in Britain and Canada? Trudeau is stepping down. And Starmer, I guess not enough people listen to me for me to get in trouble for this, but why is he not dead yet? Like, there have been profoundly numerous rapes by organized gangs of almost entirely Pakistani men, and they're everywhere now. They're in the political apparatus, so nothing can get done because they cover for each other. They're on Twitter enough that there are guys running damage control in all the comments about it, saying, "Oh, it's not Pakistani, or you don't need to mention where they're from. You don't need to mention their religion, brother. Don't be like that." And I'm like, bro, I'll do terrible things with history as my witness. You do this long enough, and terrible things happen. And then after that, for most of a century, we have to pretend that it was unprovoked, and we have to kiss your ass and apologize to you. And not talk about all the rapes. It's an unbelievable world we're living in. What was I doing? What did any of these do? I don't remember. Polymer compound. I'm always paranoid when I start a stream that I've got boobs open in another tab. So I'm always alt-tabbing. Lest I flash internet boobs. Did you know Shoe on Head has full-blown nudes out there? Like doing everything. Like doing everything. Armored Skeptic, her boyfriend of at one point, released them as revenge porn, which frankly is reprehensible. I downloaded them just to make sure of how reprehensible it was. It's as reprehensible as I thought it was. Like, for every angle, doing everything. Kudos to her for being a very brave and strong person for putting her face on camera after that, because everybody who watches her stream has like seen into her body cavities. Poor girl. I like her. She's a likable. June is likable. She's a charming person. She has mostly reasonable politics. Strangers should not have seen her titties. If you were in a gang, you'd do cooler things than that. What, all the trafficking? Yeah. If I was in a gang, I would get one of those machines they use as snow blowers that shoot artificial snow onto the hills of ski resorts, and I'd feed it with fertilizer, I'd go around blasting celebrities I don't like with shit. Escaping before the cops arrive. Or just doing the time, I guess. I'm sure I'd be able to crowdfund my bail. Can I make plastic?
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
I love that sound. Ooh, that's ASMR. It's adjacent to modem noise. That little wiggly, squeaky noise.
Printing completed.
Can you hear me? Nobody's reacting to what I say. Probably for the best, honestly. Do you think the government's finally going to start deporting all the people that the NGOs brought in just so that, like, the citizenry doesn't kill them? That's what I would do in their shoes. I never would have brought them in at all. I mean, I guess because they're disarmed, they can't really do anything.
Printing completed.
I should really be streaming to BitChute if I'm going to talk like this. It astonishes me there are still people under that spell who are still defending that status quo, not second guessing why it's like that. Like, nobody's like, is this a good thing? Why am I running damage control for fucking rape factories?
Printing completed.
Just because chuds don't like it, I guess? Chuddy buddies don't like it, so I have to defend it.
Printing completed.
I guess you need 2 people to open this. I still haven't been to the surface yet. I still don't know how to get there. Is this the elevator? Is this what I'm looking for? Zero out of 1 player is in range. Oh, I gotta unlock the elevator. I gotta unlock it first. I think that's what this is, though. I think this is an elevator. Oh, it's storming now. Cool, perfect. Can I time it or what? Is this it? Requires Noah's key card. Do I not? Oh, I don't have no. I have it, but I don't have it. I have it in my blimp, but not on my person. I found the elevator finally. I won't get cozy. I did major decluttering today, which feels really good. Eventually I'll be able to lift up my furniture and vacuum under it and do a deep clean of this room, and I'll be able to breathe instead of having to hawk up mucus every 5 fucking seconds. I gotta tell you, the magnets. How do they work? Magnets, though. They're a amazing organizational tool if you have all metal shelving. every little fiddly little thing, remote controls, Bluetooth keyboard, mouse for PC, game controllers. Slap an adhesive magnet on the back of that bitch. Stick it on the shelving unit, or if you got a USB port that USB hub that has to go on the side of your computer. Magnet. One or more magnets. Slap that shit on there. It keeps it up out of the way. I also got wall-mounted hampers that hang off of hooks on the wall. I kept thinking, this is a three-dimensional space. I could be using vertical space too to store things. I've got another shelving tower that's waist height coming in the mail, because if it was any taller, it would physically conflict with the hampers. But the shelving towers are great, especially if you buy hooks. If you buy hooks that can hang off of the shelving tower, like it's a wire mesh one, so you can hang hooks off it. Hooks also work. Now it can also be like a hat rack, but for like backpacks and jackets. Can I make epoxy? I have plant. I have to make plant resin. How do I make plant resin? I can't store it in there. What do you mean plant resin? I'm learning a lot of stuff I think van lifers probably learn, but just because I live in a small little room. I don't think it's more than 10 by 10 or 15 by 15. Somewhere between two, probably. What does Noah's key card look like? No, I didn't say sleep. I guess I have to.
Hydration level is decreasing.
Okay, Subnautica lady. At least somebody cares about me. That's why millions are going to fall for robots in the coming years, because it's a female voice that actually gives a damn if you live or die. I saw something in the Whole Foods yesterday that fucking boiled my blood. It's this dad with his two girls and his wife, and he was carrying everything for it. I don't know why they didn't have a cart. I guess they didn't think they would need one when they came in. And they were trying to hang things off of his body. They're like, "Come on, you can carry more. You can carry more, Dad." He's like, "No, I have just my two hands." And the wife was like, "Well, what good are you?" I didn't say anything. But I mean, there's a look in his eyes, like, "Oh, that's what I'm good for." I wanted him to be like, "I'm good for love, right? Right? You married me because of love, didn't you? Not because I'm a beast of burden, not because of the utility I provide, but because you have feelings for me?" Question mark. Presumably. Just the hounding of "You're not useful enough. You don't pull enough on our wagon, you donkey." And dialogue on Twitter about how you're a bum if you take her to like Applebee's. I've never done that because I know better, but it still seems shitty that a woman in the same economic position as you are expects you to overspend on dates, as if that's going to create the illusion that you have more money than she does when she knows you don't. I think it's just all the daughters, not any sons. That's part of it. Sons are rejuvenating. They're more relatable. Having a daughter is a different vibe. It's also very special. A component for Noah's key card. Component for Noah's key card, not the full thing? Well, then how do I make the key card? I don't understand. His wife was probably one of those wives who's like, "What do you mean you can't afford to take me skiing again? What did I marry you for?" I believe there are women who love romantically, but I think there's a lot of women who always believe they settled if they get a man who's their equivalent instead of drastically superior biologically. They're always thinking that they could have done better. They're like Mar, someone I follow on Twitter. She said, "I'm so pretty, I deserve the princess treatment," and everyone else in the comments was like, "Same, same, same." And I just want to strangle. I want to murder people with that attitude, who just have this narcissistic, fragile, inflated perception of themselves and what they deserve. They wind up always thinking that they could have done better than you and that you're lucky to be anywhere near them. I hope they're joking. It really makes me just want to be single forever. Oh, you have to scan the... What the fuck? You have to scan the keycard machine to get the recipe for the keycard. Fucking excuse me? Why? That's a choice. It's not that dads don't love daughters. Dads famously have an eternal love for their daughters and would do anything for them. Nothing we love more than to give ourselves completely to a cause. That's the only modern outlet for heroism. It's just that we don't like girl things for the most part.
Printing completed.
And we would really prefer very often to have someone we can do boy things with. Alright. Underdust Lab. I'm probably gonna die, so I should probably go hydrate first. Or do I have any water? Should I go eat first? No, I can eat when I come back. We're going down to the Brep Cloud. There's the loading. Here's the loading.
Uncharted area. The preliminary analysis started. Analysis completed. Detected new objects requiring scanning. Warning, entering into toxic zone. Oxygen level is low. Oxygen level is critical.
Hang on, I gotta load.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Okay, oxygen level is replenishes inside of here. We can teleport back here at any time we want to by clicking on stuck.
Warning. Entering into toxic zone.
Good energy crystals.
Virus infection detected.
Meningitis, that sounds serious. That sounds serious. I just happen to have a meningitis cure.
Warning.
What are the odds of
Entering
that?
into toxic zone.
Upgrade fabricator, cool. Oh, I didn't have enough.
Warning. Oxygen level is low.
Why is there oxygen in here? Wouldn't have to purge the dust out first? If this is possible, if they could build this, why didn't they just build habitats on the Earth's surface?
Warning. Entering into toxic zone.
Printing completed.
So I guess nature's healing. It's the nature's healing meme.
Warning. Oxygen level is low.
I didn't mean to do that. No, I didn't hit the button. I didn't hit the button. I didn't do that. Motherfucker. Do you have any drinks? I don't have any, do I? Nope, I don't have any. That aren't coffee. I really don't want to drink coffee at this hour. I have limited printing capability in the elevator. It's like a mini base. Sex is bimodal. Bimodal doesn't mean a spectrum.
Entering into toxic zone.
It's bimodally distributed in order to account for birth defects. If they're trying to argue that means it's non-binary, technically that's true, but it's like it's sort of a weasel word. They try to jump from there to spectrum, but spectrum implies an even gradient. Bimodals where there's two huge, obvious, distinct groups with a very small number of outliers between them.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
That's really handy.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
Could be this way, could be this way. You know, in my literary future, there's green gas everywhere too because of fucked up oceanic methane cycle.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Need to unload more stuff. Probably need this actually. Green colander. Nope. So now we're back to Subnautica mechanics. I gotta upgrade
Toxic zone.
my oxygen tank so I can stay not underwater but under gas longer. There's another angle to argue where all of the supposed outliers are still genetically male or female. They're just like one attribute is off.
New environment detected.
Crystal battery. Can I make them now?
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Okay, I can power O2 stations. Do I have the ability to manufacture crystal batteries? I should have scanned it. I did not scan the crystal battery. They also include a lot of conditions that scientists don't consider intersex for that reason when they estimate the number of intersex people, which they're not intersex in the first place. They just use them as a chess piece, as a prop to try to blur the boundaries that are. They're very motivated people. I've noticed. They're some of the most strongly motivated people I've ever encountered. They have things they really want. Which is to control absolutely everybody's thoughts and words and actions.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
It is not remotely sufficient that you humor them either. You must actually believe what they tell you. They're like Christians in that respect. It's frustrating how polarized the issue has become too, because if I say anything critical of gender ideology, everyone is like, "Oh, well, you believe in Noah's Ark, and you believe in." And I'm like, "No, I'm an atheist." And they're like, "What? Oh, what?" Meanwhile, if I say I'm an atheist, a Christian will be like, "Oh, so you think men can get pregnant?" No, I don't. And then they're just silent. That's all. That's often all they had. That was often their one and only card. Which is very, to be fair, it's foolish and a miscalculation of the left to even give them that to use in the first place, to voluntarily adopt an indefensible position.
Warning, oxygen level is low. The immune system has dealt with viral infection.
Like if you don't have to embrace and accept a vulnerability that's not necessary to defend, why would you? Like if you want to call somebody else loony and delusional, you can only do that from a logically unassailable posture. You have to have all your ducks in a row, and if you suddenly start saying that people who are delusional are actually not delusional in order to be kind, in order to not hurt their feelings, then you handed your opponents a free card to play against you. Why would you do that? Why'd you do that? That was unwise. This is the first time I've been to the Underdust. I can't claim to like it very much.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
How do I kill that thing? I think I need a crossbow. Can I make crystal batteries on you? Crossbow bolts, empty bottle. No, I can't, is the answer. Death Daisy.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
That just gives me biomass. It's not at all what I needed. Often they lose interest in you immediately after they find out you're not clearly identifiable as an enemy. Some of them are just looking for somebody to fight. They're just soldiers in a battle. What a dull way to live. Like, oh, you're not one of those people I hate. I can't get any satisfaction out of fighting you. Go away. I'm on the lookout.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
That works. I didn't scan the battery again. Fuck. From a functional gameplay standpoint, how is this different from being underwater? How do I keep drinking things through my suit?
Warning, oxygen level is low.
I'll have to go up pretty soon
Toxic zone.
just to eat. A lot of treasure down here. It's mostly stuff I already am able to grow on my ship, though.
Calories level is decreasing.
I'm learning also that very few people actually value truth or recognize its primacy. Many people pay lip service to it, but it goes out the window as soon as it's in the way of one of their passions. Most people are passion motivated first and foremost. That's what motivates, that's what drives them.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
And they go looking for things to justify their passions and help them achieve their passions. And everybody, no matter how, everybody prides themselves on having the truth behind them, but it's only partially behind them. And they only support it when it supports them.
Warning, oxygen level is critical. Warning, oxygen level is low.
If you talk about the stuff where science backs them up, they're like, yeah, that's right, listen to him. But if you talk about any of the things where they're at odds with science, they're like, hiss, naysayer,
Entering into toxic zone.
unbeliever, infidel. They suddenly get real fucking pissy if you juxtapose that against a priming saying, oh, you're for science, right? You're for truth. Many of them seemingly also don't know when they've been misled. They're really unsure of what's true or not, but they won't listen to it coming from you.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Invisible wall. I think it's just something they think people just say. Like,
Warning, entering into
that they're
toxic
dedicated to truth or that this or that. And you really can't fault the right for being suspicious of and hostile to science, where a lot of scientists have leftist politics and will say things that are not true in order to bolster their political goals. You can usually tell if you ask enough questions and someone gets angry at you. That's how I knew in Sunday school something was up. Like if you say, look at this Bill Nye video where he says that gender is determined by chromosomes just a few years ago, and they say, well, there's been new science since then. And you go like, what new science? Specifically, what was discovered that updated that understanding? And then they get mad at you. People who have truth don't get mad at you. Then you say that to them and they're like, oh yeah, but if I question your religion, I'm like, I'm an atheist. And like, what? I think we might popularize atheism just by pointing out to the right how devastatingly unprepared anyone on the left is to argue with anybody except for a right-wing, racist, white Christian caricature. That's like the one person they're trained to oppose and rehearsed arguments for. If it's anybody but that, then they have to make you into that so that they can fight you.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
It's really quite comedic, or it would be if it wasn't so aggravating. Where am I supposed to be going?
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
It's like those people who are like, when you argue against Christianity, they immediately ask if you're Jewish, and you're like, oh, are you Nazi? And like, oh, look at the leftists crying Nazi again. Everything's Nazi to you. And like the meme where everyone I don't like is Hitler, Internet Guide to Argument. And you go to their fucking profile and they got a Sonnenrad PFP, or they're like a Groiper, or they have 1488 in their profile. It's like, why are you shy about being what you are? Why are you not upfront about what is obvious to everyone around you?
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Like, I'll never respect you, but I'll disrespect you less if you're at least honest about your views and don't try to deceive people. They don't really. That's when you know you're arguing with somebody who doesn't care about truth. Who has decided that they can't defend their position honestly, so truth is just a tool to be used when it helps them and shelved when it doesn't. Selective skepticism is another thing that drives me crazy. Like hyper skepticism of things that they don't like for political reasons, but credulousness towards things that they do. This is badly designed. Nope, I fucked it up again.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
I'm gonna starve if I don't go back. I can't find what they're... Like people who are super fucking skeptical of vaccines or climate change because Republicans tell them to be, because Republicans are in the pocket of oil industries, or because they didn't get the electoral outcome they wanted in 2020 and they associated the vaccine with Biden and assumed that Biden wanted to kill them. But they're not. They don't like begin to suspect their own religion.
Warning, oxygen level is
You know what I mean? It's always, are you Jewish? Are you transsexual? Are you gay? Are you a woman? Let me see your body. Just nonsense like that that people ask when they don't have a good argument. It's always trying to identify something about you that disqualifies you from arguing with them. It drives me nuts. Or anything that's an attribute to a claim that doesn't make it more likely to be true, like defending a position because they feel it may have beneficial social effects. Like this book is Alright, there's an interruption. It's like saying Christians do this, but Muslims do this too, especially. They're very proud of the Quran. I don't know why. It's a really messy book. So messy that they have to have a guide for which contradictory hadiths supersede other hadiths chronologically. Because Muhammad was not consistent about his own rules and would change them over time. He once had a revelation from God about guests overstaying their welcome after dinner, to get some guests who overstayed their welcome after dinner at his house to leave. But anyway, they're like, the Quran is so beautiful. I'm like, that doesn't make it true. There are a lot of beautiful books. Or, my book has inspired a lot of great artwork. Well, that doesn't make it true. It's like they don't understand what makes something true or false. What's the lab? Have I not found the lab? Is this the lab?
Warning. Oxygen level is critical.
Where is the lab?
Oxygen
Quote
level
unquote.
is low.
I gotta go up to the blimp. I can't stay down here any longer. I gotta eat and drink. Not drink, but eat. You know you're arguing with somebody who's like a Petersonian Christian who doesn't really believe it when they want to talk about anything but whether it's true. They want to talk about its beneficial effects. They want to talk about what's your basis for morality. They want to talk. They retreat into deep solipsism. These are all just evasions and deflections, because they don't want to discuss the factual credibility. That's a kryptonite to them. They'll insult you. They'll post fedora memes. They'll question your sexuality. They'll question your fitness. Which is such monkey brain thinking, like, oh, all those based men who have this belief are ripped chads. No, you're not. Fucking Bible Belt's the fattest states in America. If you do show them a photo from the gym, which I did recently, they won't show it to you. They won't reciprocate. Very conspicuously. Which is gay in the first place, if you think about it. Just dudes showing off their bodies to each other. That's... Every Christian sincerely believes that your fitness level is what determines the credibility of your argument. I can't understand their reasoning. It seems... to just be... I think it's just a way around... Basically, the way they win arguments is stopping arguments from happening before they start. And how they do that is to embarrass you, so you'll go away. It hurts them and embarrasses them to be challenged like that, so that they monkey brain logic is just tit for tat. Make them hurt also. See how they like it. They never get to the stage in reasoning where, hey, if I can't defend this, maybe I shouldn't profess belief in it. It's remarkable how similar critical theory is. Critical theory seems to have cribbed a lot of notes from Christianity and Islam. Islam is kind of just a less competently obfuscated version of Christianity that borrows a lot from it and kills people. It makes up for the lower defensibility with violence. Christians sure deny any similarities, though. They sure do.
Printing
You can't get
completed.
somebody in one of these things to recognize that the other thing is what they're in because they look different from the inside versus outside. Mormonism looks totally different to a Mormon than it does to you. And so if you describe it to them, they're sure you don't understand it because you're describing how it looks from the outside and they don't see it that way. They see it from the inside. Like a bubble of one-way mirror. I need more energy crystals. It's like telling somebody in Amway that it's the same thing as LuLaRoe or Unique. I think they shut down now. I'll need a new example. Like, no, it's totally different. That's a scam. Do you think I'm stupid? You can't say yes because they'll never listen to you if you do. Because then you give them the choice between two realities, and they think that they can vote on what reality is real. The reality where they're dummies and got scammed, or the reality where you're just a naysayer who doesn't understand what a great opportunity they've stumbled onto. Petersonian Christians are the worst, because they're just psyoped, groveling, quisling atheists. Energy crystal fuel, even better. Which is the greatest trick they've ever pulled off, is turning some of their enemies into their subjugated lapdogs. It's amazing. Epoxy, I need 5 of those. Oh. There we go. What was I doing? It's getting cramped now. Never thought it would get cramped. It's really wanting to. They love it. They love the culture. They want to defend it, but they again know even better than Christians that it's not true. At least Christians have that blind spot, which is their weakness. They don't know that it's not true. Petersonian Christians do know that it's not true, so they know better which points to defend it. Everything's metaphor. Everything's. You just don't understand metaphor, bro. You got filtered. Which part's a metaphor? Well, the parts I can't defend, of course. Is Yahweh a metaphor? No, of course not. He's literally real. Why? Because I need him to be. Otherwise, my theology makes no sense. That seems like a rather contrived exegesis. That's the direction Islam's going to take too, because Islam is even less defensible. And just the notion that if you destroy or stigmatize atheism, everybody is forced to choose between Christianity and Islam. They feel like they'll win that public vote. I can make crystal batteries now. Hot damn. That'll really help down there. I need more helium for that. Where did I put my helium? Have you ever tried to argue with a Muslim though? Like the Christians can at least understand your arguments. Muslims are just very, very confidently stupid. Christians have usually heard terms like burden of proof. They have usually heard or understand concepts like the null hypothesis and all the language inherent to that debate, because they've been at it for centuries. But Muslims have just been killing people who challenge them for so long. They just get confused and frustrated, and they say, "No, brother, stop talking, listen to me, and believe what I tell you." Because I guess that works for them in person. Brother, listen to me. Listen. You are just stupid. You must believe the dawah, or I should have to kill you. They just have less practice at it. Christians have been debating atheists for centuries. There's a large body of apologetics that try to train Christians in how to argue with us. They don't do a great job, but they do a much better job than Muslims. We just get frustrated, and they're very peaceful at first. Many Christians are also peaceful at first. Their mask only slips when they get frustrated. I wonder if ASI will be able to contrive exactly the sequence of words to say to these people to make them understand they're wrong. They're probably, again, equally frightening. It could probably contrive exactly the sequence of words to say to us to convince us to serve it unendingly. So you couldn't really trust it either way. It'd be as effective at lying as it is at persuading people of the truth. That's like Hitchens. Hitchens was such a good orator and such a good debatesman. As much as I admired his rhetoric, his rhetorical flair, and his style and his skill, I never found him trustworthy, because he flip-flopped on at least two big issues in his life, and he sounded equally convincing in either mode. And once you've seen somebody do that, it's like you've seen how the sausage is made, and it ruins the trick. If that makes any sense. I'm not saying people shouldn't change their mind when they encounter new evidence, but I don't think that's what he did. He's just persuaded of the expediency of a different political view. And he was a Marxist before, which I'm not. So that's not that he just... And he became basically a neoliberal after that, so I didn't like either one of them. Where do I build the machine that I saw? I need more epoxy. Need a device fabricator, and I need one of these. Right. Need synthetic compounds. Have I scanned any epoxy?
Printing completed.
You can slap phobia on anything and demonize people who call you out on your bullshit. Somehow, though, it's always up to them whether or not they take you seriously. Do you think the future of religion is political religions, like critical theory? To bypass people's skeptical instincts, to make them think, well, there's no supernatural element, so I'm not being fooled. Because they have a lot of the same qualities. All these people defend ridiculous or terrible things, and they don't seem self-aware about it. And they never seem to ask, why do I support this? It's like, I feel like if you could provoke, if you just like a ray gun that provoke a moment of epiphanal self-awareness in people. Creationists would be like, wow, I have stupid beliefs. Why have I been defending these? Why are these emotionally important to me? Why am I like this? And people defending Islamists currently would be like, wow, I'm evil. Why am I like that? I think there comes a point where you hate the other tribes so much that you will oppose them no matter what, just to oppose them. You know what I mean? It becomes such a team sport that if the right was like, don't crush babies in a hydraulic press, the left would have articles that are like, here's why crushing babies in a hydraulic press is actually a good thing. Or if they couldn't stomach it, they'd be like, here's why it's not actually, like, don't let the right take ownership of this important issue. There's nothing where they'll just be like, yeah, alright, the other guys have a point. That's just not an option. That'd be seen as capitulation. Looking for epoxy.
Entering into toxic zone.
Of course, the right does the same thing. It's just called owning the libs. Like, before they hated electric cars because that owned the libs. Now they love electric cars because that owns the libs. You can persuade such a person of almost anything as long as they think that a blue-haired person will be upset about it.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Like, have you seen all the people on the right defending Cybertrucks now? Which is it's a fine car. I've also seen the media running smear articles. Every other article on my feed is, uh-oh, Tesla's in trouble. Uh-oh, did you hear about what's going wrong with the Cybertrucks? Uh-oh, don't buy a Cybertruck. Like, a lot of articles ever since Musk did his about face are just whatever will hurt Tesla. And if you're somebody who determines truth differently, not along political lines, you're like a space alien. People do not understand that such people exist. And you remind them that that's how they're supposed to be, so they get pissy at you. Because you're not sufficiently dedicated to sparkle motion, so to speak. If you understand what I mean by that.
Printing completed.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
I can't hurt him that way. That's artificial. Why can't I hurt him that way? These must have been built before things got so dire. This also beggars belief in that how could things get this bad without humans building atmospheric processors? You know what I mean? Like, we would have figured out a cheat to work around all this nonsense. Like dome cities and shit. Another thing that pisses me off is when somebody's irritated with you, they'll interrupt you halfway through a word if doing so makes it sound like you said something silly or like crude. And they're like, "Oh, what? You said this?" I'm like, "No, you know that I didn't say that. You made me say it." And like, I didn't make you say it. And like, I will strangle a bitch. Oh. How about that? Well, with a small air tank, this really helps me reach many more areas. I imagine it won't be as important when I get larger air tanks. People just start wilding. They start acting ridiculous if they don't like you. If I could just put a chip in everybody's brain like Elon Musk wants to do, I understand why he wants to do it too. Probably to make everybody be nice to him. I would just make everybody be honest.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
I would force honesty.
Printing completed.
If people could just be adults, just be mature and honest about things. Or if I could electrocute them if they're not, just briefly. That literally, what's literally? Oh, here we go. Here we go. What is that? Virus sample analyzer. Got it.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
I have most of what I need. I could make like a whole article about the ways people start wilding when they're losing an argument and they have strong emotions. You could have avoided all that if you just believed things according to what the best evidence supports instead of being corrupted. You can be corrupted by morality, as weird as that sounds. Because for most people, morality is the highest good. Whereas truth should be the highest good, in my opinion. And morality should be subordinate to and serve truth. Because if you don't do that, then you can wind up with a morality based on falsehoods. Lab facility. So we're following in the footsteps of a scientist named Noah, who went ahead of us. I think we need a crossbow to get down there and survive and kill that flower. Yeah, that's a big mistake, to hitch truth to any sort of ideology, because you're gambling on that ideology being the future, like they did with communism. Look what that did for the long-term image of atheism. Look what a mistake that was. You don't want to do that. But the opposite is it's like an ugly person trying to make out with a hot person in a club where ideologies that don't have popular support often do want to hitch themselves to things that they think are based in truth that have a future, like the other way around. Yeah, no, the thing about that is feminism has basically unassailable logical arguments up until second wave. I rebelled initially just because I'm a man, and when men are fought, our instincts tell us to fight back, even if the people fighting us have a point. And as I calmed down and I gave more thought to the propositions maybe being made, I realized I can't fight feminism because it's true. It's correct. For the most part. Like, almost all of it. I was really astonished when Tatsuya Ishida of Sinfest went full feminist, but he went second wave and he didn't go third wave. And goddamn, he was ahead of the curve. When I hear men who are anti-feminism across the board, I just hear dudes who are projecting their own insecurities and their own shortcomings onto women because they want to have sex with women who are too attractive for them.
Printing completed.
Nobody is entitled to someone else's body, but we are entitled to other people's wealth somehow, which does seem a little weird. But eventually I did succumb, because I'm always vulnerable to a well-stated logical argument, and it is true that women do have a hellishly rough time in much of the world, and that our efforts at improving human rights should start with women in those countries. And a lot of the observations they make about male behavior and tricks that men play with women aren't accurate. I guess my only remaining objection is that women have their own set of tricks they don't want examined. When you bring that up, they say you're an incel or a misogynist or an alt-right or something, when it's the other side of the coin. We both play games, and when you point this out and they can no longer defend it by calling you an incel, they're like, well, that's not important because the games women play are not violent. We're not killing you. And I'm like, well, which specific men are killing women? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, show me your stats. So they show me FBI website. And I'm like, well, break that down demographically. I'm like, no, it's not important. It's just men. It's just men. How does that work? But right up until a point, and I would apologize to people I've argued with in the past. There were a lot of anti-feminist debate bros who were wrong. I was wrong. I was just, whenever somebody comes at me stridently, I'm like, I don't like this. That's my bias. I'm like, well, I don't like this person's attitude, so I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find some foothold to argue against them. I guess I'm a hypocrite, because sometimes I argue against things that I don't like, even if they have really good arguments. I think mostly when I was younger. But that's something I acknowledge, and I try to be better than that. What are these good for? These don't seem to be good for anything. These don't seem to hold anything. I think the best way to present feminism to an internet audience would have been to have men do it, frankly. I know that's how it sounds, but men are very tribalistic and inclined to obey and listen to men that they respect. So it's got to be like a dude who's fucking ripped and who's not left wing across the board, but is like, here's how you can treat women better, and then they won't hate you because they are very emotionally intelligent creatures and can tell when you are resentful and that's not attractive. I don't think male feminists, because those seem to be, that seems to be an umbrella group and a shield for creeps. I don't think men should be feminists in that sense, because our nature is to try to take over anything we join, and there's always going to be a sizable contingent who are reproductively motivated and try to use it to have sex that they can't get otherwise, like dudes are doing with this trans business. So I guess men on the outside who are sympathetic and have communication talents should have been recruited instead of Anita Sarkeesian. She's just kind of an aggravating person. If you had gotten anyone but Anita Sarkeesian, like a dude with a beard and big muscles who looks trad, then you would have gotten a lot of young men who would have listened to that message. And Christians will listen to it too if you frame it correctly. If you frame it like, hey Christians, you know Muslim men are way too controlling of women, right? You don't want to be like them, do you? Which would have been problematic because the left at that time was very pro-Islam. Less so as they're slowly coming to their senses. I need a crossbow bolt for that.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
It's all in how you frame it, though, to different markets.
Warning, entering into toxic.
For Christians, it's you frame misogyny as an Islamic attribute and promote Christianity as a woman-friendly religion, which nevertheless affirms the social ordering that they prefer, just in a gentler way. For young men, you say women are smarter than you emotionally. They can tell what you're thinking. If you genuinely don't like them and you resent them and you have this toxic thinking, they'll be able to tell, and you can't fool them. You think you can, but you can't. When you think you're fooling them, they are pretending to be fooled for some ulterior reason. They have EQ that is much higher than yours. It doesn't work that way. You can't do that. So just get right with women. Get to where you like them and you understand them better than you do now. And you'll have better luck with them. Just be a better person. Don't be a bad person like you are currently. I don't know. I thought would go over perfectly, but that's basically what they need to hear. It just matters very much who they hear it from. But there's a lot of crystals there.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Describing men like this makes me understand why women are frustrated with us often. Yet it's a surreal feeling because I have those attributes too. I'm just not as controlled by them on a good day. I do get prideful. I do get combative. I do get provincial. I am also more inclined to listen to someone I respect, although I respect different qualities. How do I kill this? Oh, hypothermia booster is what I need. So I can't explore where I need to without hypothermia booster. It feels like some kind of force is pushing men and women apart and is contributing to low birth rate, which seems more like a psyop. Like people are intentionally marketing and exacerbating sticking points in gender relations, so that men don't love women and women don't love men and less babies happen. That's my conspiracy theory, and the solution is for men and women to love each other and just not be psyoped into being enemies. Which means men have to humble ourselves and women have to humble themselves in different ways.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Can't just go down there, I'll break my ankles. How do we get men and women to love each other? How do we get people to have babies? Nobody wants to have babies. Everyone hates each other, and I think the only reason relationships still happen is because men still want to have sex and women want materially comfortable lifestyles and children. That's not good enough. I think you need love for a healthy civilization. I think part of it is we need to deprogram people to think that the only life worth living is a wealthy life, especially in East Asian countries where I think materialism is an even larger impediment to relationships. It seems like there's a lot of women who are like, I'm going to wait until I get a rich guy, and if I can't get a rich guy, then I don't want anyone. And that's like a kid wanting to be a rock star as their career. It's like, that's a great ambition, but not everybody gets to do that. Only a small number of people. Like, look at a pyramid. The top is very small, and the bottom is very wide. You are not at the top of the pyramid. People just have to... It's a temporarily embarrassed millionaire mindset. If people were just comfortable, like, maybe I'll be a fisherman, maybe I'll be a garbage man, and women weren't mortified by the idea of being the wives of fishermen or garbage men, we wouldn't have everybody trying for the same economic class. South Korea is like that, Japan is like that, China is like that.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Why women are like that too? Less so though. And the women who are least like that are Eastern European, which I don't know why that is, but Sandra was like that. She's like, I don't care about money. Like, you don't? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean you don't care about money? She's like, I just want to... I guess it's the peasant DNA or something. I know that's bad to say. Sometimes she would say things that were so unambitious, so I would have to reply to her, I see why your people were slaves for thousands of years. Or 8,000 years. And I see why Serb or Slav means slave, the etymology of the word. Wouldn't be surprised if Serb meant serf. Bless them for that. They're much more content to live a simple life. I'm not. I'm American. That's why I've always got so many projects going. I never stop. I'm not delusional. I'm willing to live a life of poor means, if that's all that I can achieve. But I never stop trying to achieve more. I'm always working on something. This is not a good country for people who aim low. A lot of people will never make it to where they want to be. And it's important to be content with that, to at some point be realistic about what you can achieve in your life. It's also important just never to stop trying. I feel like I belong in this country. I'm ambitious in my way. I'm also going to succeed as a writer. I'm going to, or die trying. If you want to succeed in a pyramid-shaped distribution, which is the natural distribution of any competitive system, there's always a few exceptional big winners and exponentially few as you go down to the masses. You really have to go all in. You have to commit and be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to reshape everything about myself and about my life to this singular purpose. That's how I was able to make it into the top 1% or top 10% of Steam, top 10% of Medium, of Hive. There's been a bunch of platforms where I joined and clawed my way to the top because of just I needed to make it work, and I put aside everything else in my life and dedicated myself completely to it. You might still crash and burn, but it's like climbing a mountain. If you don't make it up the way you plan to, you don't stop trying to climb it. You circle back around the other way and you try a different angle. There's a great saying I really love. Winners are just losers who tried again. Like, you're only a loser if you stop trying.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Even if I die in a poorhouse, I will have died still trying to get out of it. I don't know how I'm this way and depressed. It doesn't seem to make sense, does it? I'm a very, very functional depressed person, I think. Like, I've live in a world drained of color and meaning. Fully desaturated, and very few things bring me joy. But at the same time, I guess it's just my upbringing. I just relentless. Because you always got to be trying. You never know what's going to pay off.
Oxygen level is low.
You never know what. So you got to keep trying everything. Like a scatter shot. You got to cast a wide net. I don't know. I think men and women got psyoped into hating each other intentionally in order to reduce birth rates. Because that stuff only seems to be pushed on certain countries. There's a whole lot of people also who... Someone said something to me recently. They said, aren't you going to be embarrassed in a couple years when you look loony like opponents of gay marriage did? I'm like... I couldn't reply because I was permabanned by that point, but I wanted to say, well, aren't you the fool for assuming that because something superficially resembles something that happened before that it's identical, that all the considerations are identical when they couldn't be more different? Like, one group just wants to be with other people of their group and does not want to involve forcibly or otherwise anyone from outside the group. Gay men just want gay women. Gay men just want gay men. Gay women just want gay women. Trans people want something fundamentally different, which is much less reasonable. They want control over everyone's beliefs, basically. They want to create strong pressures and strong consequences to coerce people into pretending to believe something they don't believe and to verbally affirm it whenever challenged. That is a much less reasonable want. So it's not the same thing. It just has a few superficial shared attributes. I think those people are going to be very quiet and hard to find when the tide turns in the other direction because of detransitioners. Well, you have a lot of projects, Mr. Naysayer, but what I want to see you do is monetize them. If you got serious about streamlining your build process, if you identified a couple good designs of your lightsabers in particular, and identified where the parts come from so you could get more if you needed to, and you could get an assembly line going, and you could sell each of those for a good couple $100. Capitalism only seems evil until you learn how to participate and make it work for you, and then it's your favorite thing. People who hate capitalism generally aren't participating in it effectively. They only hate it because it's not working for them. Unhand my lad. That rat is the political prisoner. That's not to say capitalism doesn't have its issues, but the solution is not to give up and have the government loot the wealthy and give you
Oxygen level is low.
an allowance out of their paycheck. Well, it eventually will be because of automation, but not on principle though. Saying I don't want to try, I just want the winners, a share of the winnings to be given to me. You have a stronger argument if it's not a game because people die if they lose, but that's not really the case. That's not what causes homelessness in this country. We have transient homelessness solved. If you're not on a hard drug, you can get somebody to pick you up in a van and put you in an apartment within 15 minutes. Or in a shelter, and then an apartment within a month. Got a lot of crystals. I didn't get... What do I need to do? What's still on the agenda? I guess I need to make a crossbow. It's in the Underdust. Fuck. I need the cold hypothermia drug for that. If you lose really fucking bad at a game every time you try to play... It's like when you play a video game with a family member who doesn't game at all. And they hate it because they just get stomped by you. If they were better at the game, they would enjoy it more. Do you have a Google document with links to suppliers for the parts, and have you found the cheapest supplier for each part? Often, if you buy in bulk, you can find those parts on like AliExpress, and you can buy lots of like 100 or 1,000 or whatever you can afford. Need one more epoxy. Did I ever build the big bed? I don't think I did. There's also something I researched, but and I should be able to build now, but I haven't seen that I'm able to. Upgrade fabricator, there we go. Epoxy, once again. How do I make epoxy? Smart guy. I should have known you already figured it out. You got a good thing going. People who are passionate about that stuff will pay big money. In terms of dollar per labor hour, it's a pretty... how do I make epoxy? It can be crafted in the suit printer, can it? Plant resin. Okay, how do I get plant resin? I need a dust daisy. Okay, I'm looking for a particular plant. Looks like. The fucking chains of production in this are as complicated as you would expect from like the Anno series. Does it really need to be like that? Do I need to fucking... find a thing to make a thing to make a thing to make another thing? I guess that's the core of the gameplay in this type of situation. I remember being frustrated in Subnautica too because of the long production chains. They did that. Did you not? Did you miss that? Were you not alive for the Final Fantasy movie tie-in drinks? You probably don't remember that. It wasn't for the first Final Fantasy. It was for Advent Children, I believe. That would have been, what, 2005, 6, 7? They had little mana potions in the shape of little potion bottles that had blue energy drink in them. It was a limited time thing. That's a great idea. I mean, there's been what's going to really cost you is the custom bottles. That's why they didn't do it. That's why they didn't do it as a lasting thing. That's why almost every drink, even gaming drinks, sell in standard aluminum cans. so they can use existing production facilities. I feel like if you're going to do this, it should be glass bottles. You don't want plastic bottles because then you get bad press for contributing to plastic waste. And also you put more microplastics in my balls. And there's frankly too much microplastics in my balls. As it is. I'm more microplastics than man at this point. I'm looking for a dust daisy. I don't know what that is. I feel like I'll know it when I see it. I might not, however. That's the way to do it. There are plastic orbs. There's like the buzz balls, which is whenever fucking Mexican teenagers ask me outside of the 7-Eleven to buy them alcohol, it's always the buzz balls they want, the big orb-shaped chocolate flavored alcohol that made me barf when I bought 2 of them to make a fucking hourglass out of. I felt like it would be waste not to drink some of it. It was awful and I regretted it. I hate alcohol. I don't like it. I just intrinsically don't like it. I don't like being drunk either. This looks like the plan I need. How does that not give me the thing I need? Are you talking about those energy shots? Don't touch those things. Those are just meth. Bring back glass bottles. What happened to glass bottles? Remember Snapple? Remember when Snapple came in glass bottles? That's healthier too. If you make the bottle easily reusable, then you can get brownie points. It doesn't even require that they actually reuse them. You can just blame it on them if they don't. That's always how I wanted to see a Bioshock, not Bioshock, Fallout Nuka-Cola sold in glass bottles. But I guess it might not be economical or some shit.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
Even Sobe switched to plastic. If I'm writing a future setting in a novel, and I want a material that's like plastic but doesn't feel shitty, could I call it Glastic or is that cringe? I feel like that might be Ludo, actually. I feel like if you sold a health potion and called it health, nobody would know what you're talking about. Unless you called it HP+. But if you called your blue potion mana, everyone would know what that is. You might run into copyright issues, however. What are these? How do I grab these? These really look like they're dust daisies. Oh, that's what they look like. They look like red flowers. Okay. Those are not the dust daisies that I thought they were. Or maybe they bloom. They bloom into dust daisies. Must consume. Must consume. I don't see any dust daisies. Oh, you know what? Maybe the flashlight makes them bloom.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
I guess I can go to a different one now that I have what I need from here. But there's still that tunnel I need to go down to. I guess I have to just go somewhere else. Glass Steel has already taken my RimWorld. It puts even worse stuff in your balls. I got converted to nuclear power the same way I got converted to second wave feminism, is just by patient arguments. I guess I'm the person people say doesn't exist. The person who actually listens. I've noticed autistic people are like that in general. I've had very hostile, ideologically motivated autistic people fight with me, but then I just sat there and patiently explained my arguments to them, and they fucking changed their minds, and I was like, really? You must be autistic. And like, yes, I am. I'm like, it's the sensation is like diving into a swimming pool of milk when you're itchy. It is so refreshing. It's like, you are what I want humans to be. I love you. I want more of you. I think it was the gender argument I was having, and they actually listened to me, and they were swayed by good argumentation. And they weren't corrupted by emotion. That's a fundamental difference. If an autistic person likes a position, but you show them how it's untrue, they'll be like, "Oh well, that's what a shame," and they'll throw it in the trash. An autistic will defend it to their dying breath, and they'll invent new ways to defend it. They'll retreat all the way into solipsism, if need be. Which is a profoundly insane thing to do. There's still things to find here. Wonder if I can get the plant I need. Over here. Wonder what happens if I guess we'll find out. I also got a chance to speak to a Swedish academic, and I wanted to cry. I never realized how much better, at least the Europeans who are not ideologically captured, having conversations with them, they're so patient, they're so polite, they're so reasonable. I just wanted to cry. I didn't know how much fucking trauma I had from arguing with Americans. And it gets worse the further down you go. Like when Steam opened up to Middle East, North Africa users, the quality of discourse, I mean, part of it was language barrier. I guess they just don't have the same tradition of examining your beliefs and challenging each other, because they all reacted with uncomprehending hostility, or fuck your mother. Fuck. That's one thing you get a lot from certain countries. an obsession with telling people to commit incest. Fuck your mother. Fuck your father. I make them sound Italian. They were not Italians. That's why, as much as I don't like Christians, they're my lead. They're probably my least hated, which is saying a lot. Just because they have centuries of experience with reasoned argument, to the extent that you can say they're capable of that, which is better than most. They at least understand the terminology and how you're supposed to defend an argument. And they buy into logic to some degree. They just believe it supports them. Steeman was so nice. Steeman was like before enshittification. And there are probably very brilliant people. I mean, India has a lot of STEM professionals. China has a lot of STEM professionals. Saudi Arabia has a lot of STEM professionals that I would have loved to hear from. It's just a lot of people. It's just the numbers. Statistically, most of those are not going to be quality contributors. So if you open up membership to these huge countries, you have many thousands of people pour in at the same time, and that's not just the top of the pyramid that comes in, it's the bottom of the pyramid too. If you get my meaning. It's just a fucking million people, most of whom are dumb as shit and don't try to contribute. What they would do is plagiarize. There were like 1,000 accounts that were, all they did is they found a successful account, they copied the PFP, they copied the name, and then they copied content either directly from that person or from other people to leverage confusion. Until they get some got banned, but then they get wily about it. They create a fake persona and still copy and slightly like remove watermarks. There's a remove watermarks tool that you could use. A lot of them were just like, this is a free money printer. How do I scam this? How do I maximize the money I can extract from this community and completely, it's just tragedy of the commons. How do I suck all the blood out of this and just leave the husk? It was great until it wasn't. For a while, it was just a beautiful utopia. You had a lot of really great, dedicated writers. You had a lot of anarchist and libertarian bent type people who I don't completely see eye to eye on, but I empathize with them. I think they have a appealing vision. Worst part is once they're inside the house, so to speak, you can't really talk about them without the nationalist fanboys crashing every thread about them to run damage control. Like when they didn't have access, they couldn't do that. You didn't hear from them as often.
High contamination zone. Risk of immediate death. Abandon the area.
I need immunity to this. It's like the situation with Islam in Europe, where you could debate about it, but then suddenly they're not only your neighbors, they're like the mayors. They're in charge of shit. I wrote a story about that triangle opportunity where a guy's trying to sabotage a multi-level marketing scheme that sells mind control devices that they don't tell you that's what they are, and it goes all the way to the top. Like he calls the cops, but the cops already put theirs on, so they love it. And the president gives a speech initially against the mind control device, but then he puts one on, and then he's all for it. What am I trying to do? Do I have to? What am I upgrading? Do I need to do it with my suit? Suit printer. I should be able to make an air tank. Yet I can't. Large bottle. Everything I want to build needs epoxy. Alright, I don't understand what I'm doing here. I'm gonna eat something and I'm gonna go to a different tower. Hang on. Oh, I'm down, busted down to this again, am I? The only upside to the opening up those countries is that it skyrocketed in value until South Korea banned it, and then it plummeted. I didn't manage to sell it all before that. I sold about half of it. It's the most lucrative year of my life. I bought my car that year because I figured I'll never be able to do it again, and I was right. I almost got a motorcycle. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm fucking glad I didn't buy a motorcycle. And this, I really had a growing up moment where I'm like, I need to be in I'm not a daring, hot, young stallion rebel anymore. I'm gonna be a boring old man. I need to start thinking like a boring old man and realize I live in the rainiest state in the country. So I need to buy an enclosed vehicle. I need to buy something practical so I can move out. And it was practical. The Volt is a very practical vehicle. It's almost like having a truck, because you can fold the back seats down. Ask Short Talk, he'll tell you. You can fit a giant TV in there. I still want that damn motorcycle though. I've got no good reason to. Probably I can sneak through here. Nobody believes it. It's like a clown car. It fits everything. It's such a practical car. I wish they would put it back into production. I think
Calories level is decreased.
Aging Wheels EV guy, Aging EV Wheels set, or was it him? It was somebody. Might have been Dusty from that other channel, Electric Garage or whatever it is. Someone said that if you put totally modern Tesla batteries into a Volt, you could get 70 to 100 miles range on battery. Wouldn't that be nice to have? Just because energy density of regular lithium ion has improved more than people realize.
A flying creature approaches the airship. A creature attached itself to the airship.
There's a differently colored brap cloud here. Almost said blap crowd. Probably have undiagnosed word switcheroo, whatever that is. Dyslexia. That probably hasn't been helping me. I read a comic about growing up with autism that made me cry today, just because so many people beat her up. You get beat up a lot when you grow up with autism, because especially in the 80s and 90s, because nobody fucking knew what it was. They just thought you were being weird for no reason. They thought the way to socially correct your behavior was through pain. My dad hit me, classmates hit me, teachers bullied me verbally. It's like being, the way I've compared it to in the past is it's like the movie E.T. If when E.T. came out of his spaceship and approached Elliot, they just all gathered around and beat it with hammers. Instead of being like, what is this wondrous creature? Let us learn from it and be friends. If they were instead like, kill it! Kill the thing. It's funny how I don't need polymer anymore. I can safely ignore that. I see mostly eye to eye with my father nowadays. I think it helps being bigger and stronger than him, so intimidation is no longer an effective technique. He grew up in a different time. Not to make it excuses for him, but it is true. I think there was a time when it was much more acceptable to just beat the shit out of your kids and yell at them. And I have to remind him that people aren't outside the house aren't in our family. Because when he was making a deal for this car, he couldn't make the math, and he wasn't understanding something because he's elderly. But he started yelling at the guy, and the guy was like, "Sir, you can't do that in a public place with someone you don't know. I'm going to call the police." But he just was he never learned emotional regulation because he never had to. He came from a different world, the 60s. Where it's expected that men would yell and throw their weight around. Could this be it? Could it be the question mark? Could that be another elevator location? Yeah, the 80s and 90s were just rougher. Bullying was less... People were less conscious about it. Were less aware of it and didn't see it as a problem. They just saw it as part of growing up. But, it was not a good time for the most part. I didn't understand why I behaved differently. I didn't understand why people behaved the way they did. Everybody just seemed like a stupid, violent asshole to me. There was mutual incomprehension. They were like, "We'll just beat them up." They beat me up and that didn't work. I kept being the same way, so they beat me up more. I think most autistic people have trauma. We're very tempting targets because we are different, and that's what gets you singled out. We don't know how to stop being different. Social correction doesn't work on us. You can't be coerced or bullied into behaving in a certain way without good reason. We're also just not that self-aware, so we don't realize how we come off to other people. Then it just becomes a sadistic... You know what a cat piano is? It used to be a recreational activity for the wealthy to torture cats. Probably still is in some places. But they would put cats in a box with keys, and the keys would smash the cat's tails with mallets, and they would meow in pain. It's the same kind of thing with how they would treat autistic kids. Is what is this weird creature? It reacts differently to bullying than other children. I'm fascinated now. I can't help myself.
Hydration level is decreasing.
I have got to see how this creature reacts to this and that. It's like what people did. Well, it's why people couldn't stop tormenting Chris Chan, because it was too fucking entertaining and interesting. Which is really a curse and a half to have. I did not mean to drink that. Poor frame rate is not helping. What's good, Ash Contramandum? Nice to see you back. Playing Forever Skies. I couldn't get Fear XP to work. I really want to play more Fear, but that game is running on an engine that does not cooperate. It even fucked up its own aspect ratio and resolution. Well, not all by itself. My hand might have slipped. What is this? What is this structure? I can't get that high currently. Oh, hey, there's another elevator tower. That's exactly what I need. I think this is the first one I was supposed to go down, but I didn't understand how to do it at that time. GOG's usually got the best version. I don't want multiple game stores, but I have GOG installed just because it's got a lot of stuff Steam doesn't have, and it's ethically run. It's a good platform, and they often have the best versions of things. They had the best version of Blade Runner for a long time when the Steam version was fucked. Remember that? Remember when it came out broken and with important stuff removed, like transparency effects for the fog? How are you not going to have fog in Blade Runner? Gotta have fog for those lights to shine through the fans.
A flying creature approaches the airship.
You know those weren't voxels in Blade Runner for PC?
The creature attached itself to the airship.
It was a related technology, but it's actually a version that only works with horizontal rotation that performs better. I'll look into that, Short Talk. I have a lot on my plate right now. I always do. I submitted some poems to a contest. If I win, I get only $77, and then I'm...
Welcome to the Cum Zone.
Thank you for that. If I win, I get $77, and I am ineligible to submit my poems to any contest with a higher reward, because they typically only accept uncurated poems, which is not published anywhere. There's two different levels. There's uncurated, and there's never before published anywhere. I'm fucked if it's the second one, because I published on Substack. But if it's uncurated, it just means nobody real has published them. Like, it can be on social media, it can be on Substack, it's fine. But like, they can't be in print. They cannot have been published by a publisher. I think I might have left our fuel behind. Oopsie fucking doodle. Can I make any more fuel?
Printing completed.
Yeah, we're in the future now.
Printing completed.
Have you noticed the future's stupid? I have to charge my pants. I gotta charge my watch, I gotta charge my glasses. Everything needs charging. When are we gonna get wireless charging? We need some kind of wireless charging field so we don't have to plug in everything individually. I don't care if it makes my sperm count plummet. I've already got microplastics for that.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
The fucking chip cards where you put in the chip and it doesn't work, so it says try the magnetic stripe. It's like, that's what I wanted to do to begin with, guy. It feels functionally more linear than Subnautica. I need to go back and stream Subnautica again because I never did.
Level is decreasing.
After all the habitat modules got added to the base game. You think I'd stream nothing but Subnautica? I don't know if it's that I wanted to play it or I just wanted it to exist. I've gotten lucky a couple times in the past where I took a chance on something and it paid off big time. I'm working on something like that right now. I gotta remember to put money into. I'm selling plasma to raise money for this project that I invest into and I hope to get money back from. Fingers crossed. If it turns out that it doesn't work the way I hope it will, I'll have wasted hundreds of dollars. Ultimately thousands, but I think I should know for sure whether it works or not before I invest that much money. It's a modular project that I can add to in increments and see increasing returns. So I should be able to figure out whether it's working or not without losing all my savings in the process. I always try to have something like that in the works, because you never know what's going to pay off. It could be anything. I gotta do Noah's card again. That's my main complaint, is all the buildings of one type are the same in this game so far. They need to build a couple variations. I guess it's technically in early access. Games like this are in early access, quote unquote, forever. What do I need? I'm gonna need crystal batteries. And lots of them. To make the air down there breathable. If it's the same as the other one, it'll have all the same stuff. I guess that's why everything's identical. So you don't have to keep track of where individual things are. What we got in the way of food? Nothing. Seasonal event Frozen Wishes. Oh, that's where you play Santa. I haven't been doing Santa. Hoo-hoo, I've got bigger problems. I think it's for players who are further into the game, have more of the stuff. I'm just getting started. I miss out on that completely. I guess I could alter my system clock. I'm gonna need a better food meta. I need to figure out how to produce food faster, more effectively. I like the early game method of just dredging stuff up from the ground, from below the brat cloud. What good times those were! Investing in Steemit and getting $50,000 out of it, and the rest dwindled down to 5,000, of which I've spent 3 on stuff to fix up the house. When I should have kept it in and got way more money out of it, and I'm still salty about that. I could have doubled it by now. I could have fucking doubled my money, and I left it in and been more patient. But I needed money right then. I said it got really bad. I mean, I had $5,000 riding on in there, and it crashed, and it was worth $2,500. I said I'm not taking it out until I get all my money back, and I got it back up to $5,000. I was like, okay, I'm taking it out. And it went up to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, and it's heading up to where it would have been worth $10,000 if I kept it in. I'm waiting for it to crash again before I put the rest of my savings back in, but I'm gonna have to. You gotta invest money to make money. So I'm waiting to put money into. I'm saving up to put money into a project that will give me returns. And if it doesn't work, then I guess I'm just fucked. I'm back to square one.
Printing completed.
Need a polymer. We went over that. You said I was better off with my money in the credit union.
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
What are they trying to make?
Printing completed. Printing completed.
It's a nice day out. I have Bitcoin.
Printing completed.
Or I had it. I took it out. I'm waiting for it to crash to put it back in.
Printing completed.
I guess the gameplay kind of they painted themselves in a corner where it has to be the same at every tower, or you don't know where shit is.
Printing completed.
So I had to go to 2 of these just to get enough epoxy. I'm not too pleased about that.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
I either need to hold next time or I need to come up with an alternate way of making money, which I'm trying to do currently.
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
The Underdust does make this too similar to Subnautica for my liking. Aha, here it is. I got a Dust Daisy finally. Is this the same as the other one? This seems to be different in some ways. No, it's the same. So now I can craft a hypothermia thingamajig. Then I can go through the tunnel. Then I can get the crossbow. Why is it only at this one? Why would it only be here? I guess this is the one closest to where I was. This is where you're supposed to find first. But I was stupid and didn't understand how to do the thing yet. I feel like in a healthier country and economy, there wouldn't be so much focus on how to get rich quick via digital coins and schemes. There would be better opportunities. But I didn't realize how badly I chose. You know how much writers make on average annually? Do you want to guess? I almost guarantee it's worse than you think. Go on, guess. Guess how much writers make on average. Of course, it's a very wide spread because there's a few very big earners and a lot of people earn nothing. Or close to nothing. Guess. $7K. It actually was worse than you thought. I'm amazed. I need a lot more epoxy than this.
The immune system has dealt with viral infection.
Nothing too bad. I didn't catch anything. That's not anything. 7K a year. You can't live on 7K a year.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
I guess if I just keep up with the dust daisies,
The immune system has dealt with viral infection.
I can just make my own epoxy.
Warning, oxygen level is critical. Warning, oxygen level is low. Warning, entering into toxic zone.
I may as well have tried. I was mocking people earlier for thinking they're all going to be rock stars. You know that 3 out of 10 young girls say they want to be an influencer. You can't have 30% of the female population be influencers. And I chose the same thing, basically. I'm not any better. I chose one of the hardest things to make money at. Especially with AI now.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
The industry has yet to really adapt to AI. For example, they still want work which has not appeared anywhere else, even though that's the number one best way to ensure that it wasn't made by AI is to have a timestamped prior art on some other platform that predates 2022. They're shooting themselves in the foot that way. They don't realize it yet, and they won't listen to me because they think they're still in the. They're used to being in a position of unassailable power. Oh, I see what I did wrong last time. You have to shine the flashlight at the flowers so they don't open. Oh, I'm dumb. It's the worst case scenario. I chose the worst thing I could have possibly dedicated my efforts to. I need to figure out some other way to monetize writing besides books, because books are on the way out. I need to write screenplays. I also might be forever tainted because I made some AI videos, which will probably make them think, well, what else has he made with AI?
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Is that all the epoxy? Have I extolled my love of shelving units and wall-mounted stuff? I've got this patent plan. I don't have the money to patent anything. I guess I kind of do. I should probably do that before talking about it. But it's a ceiling-mounted storage system where you have rectilinear tubs that have ceiling tiles on the underside so that they don't look ugly when they're retracted up to the ceiling. They have handles on the bottom and retractable cords connect them at the corners, so you can store stuff up above you, if that makes sense. And when you want it, you pull it down to eye level and you grab what you want out of it. Maybe it'd be better off if the bottom was transparent so you could see what was in each container, or if maybe just label it. Alright, every place has the same tunnel. I'm not in any trouble. I guess that's the one good thing about writing, is it's very versatile, because at its core it's just storytelling. And storytelling can be adapted to any medium. Storytelling is the core of content creation. As much as that word sends shivers up some people's spines and puckers their asshole. The fundamental skill of telling a good story is independent, arguably, even of your grasp of language. You might... Because you can tell it through images, too.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
You see what I mean? Like you can write... You can tell a good story in comics even if you're illiterate. It probably helps if you can understand. I'm gonna go try to make that. What am I trying to make? I'm trying to make a. Nope, not the crossbow. The hypothermia. There's plenty of people who write beautifully but don't have good story ideas. Even most human stories are also just remixes of what came before. But humans are capable of occasionally coming up with truly original ideas, and that's some of the stuff that becomes iconic classics. There we go. So now I can do that, and I can make the thing. That doesn't work there. It only goes in the small planter. Isn't that the small planter? Or is this the... No, this is a big planter.
Virus infection detected.
Oh, cool. I can't eat anything. I don't really need that. Also, I'm going to keep it because I don't want to throw away anything. I'm becoming a hoarder in this game. What do I do? Oh, I can make plant resin now, I think.
Printing completed.
Can I make a battery? I cannot. I need a synthetic compound. How do I not have any? Yon orbs. You need so much synthetic compound for everything. Let's see. I heard the guy who wrote Scarface had never written a screenplay before. He did it. He knocked it out in the first try. And that he wrote the book on how to write screenplays after that. And then for this next movie, someone recommended that same book to him, not realizing he'd written it. Synthetic compound. There's so much down at the bottom of the elevator. You know, I'm just gonna go down the elevator. There's plentiful synthetic compounds down there. Could they add a space level to this? Where like there's a space elevator that takes you up instead of down? I feel like that wouldn't be too far-fetched. Engine already seemingly supports it. The window really sells it.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
The biopunk angle of having to infect yourself with different things is really interesting. That's something this game does differently. You have to give yourself hypothermia to get past stuff. Almost Metroidvania-like in that way. Not really. Close. Here we go. Aha, more epoxy. I missed the first time. Ever think about how you would live in a world like this? I guess it's like the Fallout world hypothesis. You ever see that Johnny Mnemonic where they have like a base built into the bridge? I always thought that'd be cool. Block off both ends of the bridge to control access. Use the surface level of the bridge as growth space. Got plenty of what I need now, I believe. I get stat debuffs because I'm sick with something. That works. I guess that works. Huh.
Printing completed.
Oh, that's not what I meant to put down. I see. How do I get rid of what was planted here? Do I not do that? No, that's not it. Gotta make another one. It's probably gonna go right there. I have to get rid of some of this shit or consolidate it at some point. Can I make edible biomass, I wonder? Oh, I was supposed to make a battery.
Printing completed.
I can't make resin yet. I think I need the analyzer for that. Should I try screen? I feel like screenplays is even more doomed, but for different reasons. Because you kind of have to live in California to physically go to people and force a screenplay on them.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Canned water. Well, will canned water work? Oh, it needs fertilizer and then water. Needy, needy, needy. Weeds grow anywhere. Why can't we make edible weeds? Oh, it can't be in a... Can't be that kind of water, apparently. Here we go. Here, that's good use of space, actually. Compared to the water tank, which did nothing and was a waste of resources.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Nope, 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 nope. Didn't I have a battery option in here? I still need more synthetic compounds. Unbelievable. It's insatiable. Can't be satiated. Can't be satiated. One of those things. That ought to be enough. Come on.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Need electric elements, which I have in storage. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Printing completed.
Now we're getting somewhere. There's so much busy work in this game. Oh, it's a crystal battery. Fuck. How do I do this? How does this minigame work? No, sample destroyed.
Hydration level is decreasing.
I see. How do I do this game? What's the correct order? Here we go. Photophobia. That's not what I thought it would be. I guess he what, really? I guess he researched the honey. I think so. Nope. That wasn't the right way. I guess it has to be difficult. Meningitis. I can research. I can research, I guess. Different. Here we go. And also oxygen booster. Is this biopunk? I feel like it qualifies. Oh, I can make plant resin now. I remember that's what I was trying to do for a while. I forgot completely about that sub goal. Gotta make another meningitis. I don't have any more honey. I don't know what to do. I can make resin now, though, however. So much busy work in this fucking game. Oh, you need a thing for a thing, and then you need a thing for another thing. You need a thing to get that thing. Back down the elevator I go for more synthetics. Yeah, that's right. Fuck off with that epic music. We're not anywhere epic yet. Why?
Calories level is decreasing.
You let me worry about that. I can't see where I'm going with this shit. That's really distracting. Nope, that's not it. I can't be doing with this. Do I ever get like a jetpack? Do I ever get like a grappling hook or some shit? Because there are a lot of things that are hard to reach.
Warning, entering into toxic zone.
No worries, no worries. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. It won't grow anymore for me. Fair enough, I plucked.
Warning, oxygen level is low.
Complicated controls, too.
The virus was neutralized.
Hooray! I wasn't even paying attention. I just need synthetics. Did I really consume all the synthetics? That doesn't seem right. I remember there being like billions of them. I remember a lot more synthetics. Is this Mandela effect? Am I gaslighting myself? Have you noticed how often gaslighting is used just to mean that somebody lost an argument? It means basically just disputing a woman's recollection of events. And you can't say it as a man, it's just for their use. You get laughed at. You also get laughed at if you ever show any signs of pain, I've noticed. Like, be vulnerable. That's a trap. Guess I extracted everything of value from this location. I don't know, I want to say it's cruel laughter. I think it's laughter of surprise and disbelief. You hear a man who has never emoted before say, "You're hurting my feelings," or or like, to use therapy speak. It's like hearing Donald Duck rapping, or like reading philosophy or calculus. It's just a totally alien juxtaposition. Make another one of these? No, I cannot. I got plenty of polymer. What do you mean polymer? What do you mean polymer? Why can't I automate this? My Factorio gland is pulsating. Fuck do you mean I can't?
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
Technically, they're hard to distinguish from each other, because if you try to convince somebody they're remembering an event wrong, you could be construed as, which is what disagreeing about a past event is fundamentally. It could be construed as trying to convince them that they're crazy, or that their memory is unreliable, which it may well be. What was I trying to do? What do I need for the upgrade thingamajig? Nope. Nope. Why does it have to be a separate machine, by the way? It seems like bullshit. There's some way to make an upgrade researcher, I just don't know what it is. Oh, you know what I need? For that I need one of these first.
Printing completed.
You need meningitis for both of these.
Printing.
Ah, here we go. Still need more epoxy. I can make my own epoxy now, though, right? I need plant resin. I need... I guess I need to farm more. Gotta get rid of these. I'm never gonna need these. Alright. Fair enough. So now I need to make more epoxy. For which I need 3 dust daisies, not 2. I should be farming more of these. Oh, I actually had... No, wait. Did I? I think I might actually have enough to make a... No, I don't. This... I want to cry. There we go. It's too complicated, frankly. I'll commit to... No, actually, I won't. I want to go eat something, so get ready.
Printing completed.
Actually, I will commit to the top of the hour, because I want to make some more progress in this game, too.
Printing completed.
I still don't think everything needs to run on single-use batteries. Because even Subnautica let you recharge the batteries at some point.
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
There we go. Now I can, no, I can't make epoxy. I need synthetics. I always need more synthetics, no matter what. I don't even grow food anymore. Other shit's more important. You can make a lot of stuff on the ship, but you can't make resources. You just refine them. You can violate the conservation of energy, though, somehow. By using battery power to make a new battery that has more energy than the battery that made it. I better get jetpacks at some point. That's all I'm saying. Now what was I doing? Oh yeah, epoxy. Aha!
Printing completed.
How many epoxy did that make me? 5, I think. I have 8 in total. I need 10! I need This is slow going. I have more dust daisies. Where am I going to even put the upgrade fabricator? I want to say the center of the room. You're not as weight constrained as you should be. I don't want to build that. That'd be really handy to have, but I need to build this thing. This might help me get that thing though. No, I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna save up. Alright, so I just need to take those from there, put them in. I only have 2, I need 3. Oh, this is unbearable. Oh, there were 3. It's just a glitch, okay, okay. There's a little bit too much busy work in this, even compared to Subnautica.
Printing completed. Printing completed. Printing completed.
I'm always gonna need more synthetics. It hurts nothing to get more synthetics.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Alright, I have more epoxy. Now, can I make it? I can! Oh, happy day!
Printing completed.
I mean, what'd I tell you? Always need more synthetics. Jesus. It's the one thing you always need more of. I guess that's why it's everywhere. If this wasn't flying junk and we were just destroying the ecosystem, purely apt illustration of what industrialization does to the planet, where one person's super first world needs just consume ungodly amounts of energy and resources.
Printing completed.
There we go. 2 big new upgrades, then I can quit for tonight. But I got 3 printers. Glad I have 3 of these.
Printing completed.
Wow, alright. Okay, this is a big boy. That's a good location, isn't it? Wow, I can make a lot of cool shit. Automated, I can automate shit. Upgraded engine, upgrade. This is a big upgrade.
Printing completed.
The limit of maximum flight altitude reached.
Does this not need a battery? Looks like it's the only thing that doesn't. I just want to add these 2 upgrades. Just let me add these upgrades.
Printing completed.
I don't really use the insect lure anymore. I'm gonna need it to upgrade it though.
The limit of maximum flight altitude reached.
Really just one of those?
Maximum flight altitude reduced. The limit of maximum flight altitude reached. Calories level is decreasing.
Motherboard. I want symmetry. In fact, I insist upon symmetry. Motherboard, motherboard, motherboard. I got one somewhere. I don't have one of them somewhere. You can decorate somewhat.
Printing completed.
Here we go.
Maximum flight altitude reduced.
You do need more than one. I swear I have a motherboard. I swear I have at least one more motherboard somewhere. Or I can manufacture one. Here we go.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Oh, two super turbines, two super turbines. Oh, that's backwards. Oh no, that's backwards. It's still backwards. Why do I keep putting it backwards?
Printing completed.
Is this long range? Do I not require the handheld one any longer? That's except for expeditions. That'll have to do for that.
Maximum flight altitude reduced. The limit of maximum flight altitude reached.
Alright, no, it has to be on the rear portion. Unless I'm doing this.
Maximum flight altitude reduced. The limit of maximum flight altitude reached.
There, that's perfect. So 2 super turbines reaches the new maximum altitude. Good to know. I don't need glass for anything yet. What do I need glass for? Upgrade module, small oxygen tank, green colander, epoxy. Do I have epoxy? I have epoxy. How much epoxy do I need? 4. I guess, of course I would. I can fly higher now. I wanna fly high. I wanna fly high. Just like a movie. This doesn't even have a longer range. Why am I sinking? Why do I not have the same altitude capability? I have upgraded turbines. I thought I had upgraded turbines. Are they not as good as what I had?
A flying creature approaches the airship.
Oh no, you fucking don't. Get away. It's got more synthetics.
A creature attached itself to the airship.
No, it didn't. Did it? Were there two? That is not working. Alright, I need to boost the engines back on. I made a terrible mistake. It said maximum altitude, flight altitude is reached. Was I able to reach a higher altitude with 4 small engines than I was with 2? I guess we'll have to find out next time. I'm going to land here. I have to borrow from this from a novel. They need an airship of some kind. I was thinking it'd be the Goodyear blimp. So what are my goals for next time? Extractor module capacity. And I'll improve my extractor. Extractor module reload. Reload time reduced. I take it. King size bed would be nice to have.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
Oh, that's not what I needed. Oh, what have I done? We go a little bit over. I need to overcome this roadblock. Can I make epoxy now? I can.
Printing completed.
What can I make now? Polymer. I need polymer. I have plenty of polymer. What do you mean I need polymer? What do you need me? What do you mean I need polymer? What do you mean I'm sleeping? I'm not sleeping. Why would anyone sleep? Here we go. There's some. I thought I had plenty. Last time I looked, I had plenty of polymer. Can I deconstruct stuff I've already made to get polymer out of it? Can I cannibalize my ship? There we go. I'm actually invested now.
Printing completed. Printing completed.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I still need more polymers. Don't I have plant oil somewhere? Yep, I do. Not quite enough. Well, I'll save that for next time. It kills me to do it. This is something to look forward to. Imminent upgrades. A lot of big upgrades. Big upgrades coming. We're going to have a nice big comfy bed. We're going to have stronger engines that go faster. We're going to have higher altitude maximum. We're going to be able to do lots of cool new stuff. I'm actually getting into this game now, and a lot is happening per episode, so it's making more sense to stream this. I still have not given up on fixing Fear XP, though. I really was having just a grand old time. So, that's it for this time. Get at me again on Wednesday. Same ham time, same ham channel. At 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time to 11 o'clock p.m. This is your friendly neighborhood Hemdad signing off and returning you to regularly scheduled raid. Stick around, see who it's going to be. We're going to spin the wheel. You never know what you're going to fucking get. Could be MMO nerd. It could be EverQuest. Could be dwarf. Could be D&D. Could be goth babes with just huge titties. It really... We have an eclectic bunch that we choose from. Don't expect a goth every time, though. Life can't be like that. Man is spiritually ill-prepared to inhabit such a paradise.